So today we have a 47-year-old woman who supposedly was married to this very rich and wealthy man, but decided for some odd reason that she needed to get divorced after 23 years of marriage. But it didn't really go how she thought it was going to. So let's see her story. Let's see what's going on.
Hey, it's Jenna. Recently divorced and kind of figuring out this new way of life. I was married for 23 years and with that person for 3 years prior. So for a total of 26 years of my life, I have been out of the game of dating, making friends, going out, and stuff like that as a single woman in her 40s. Yeah, I'm 47. So I've raised children. My children are adult children now, and it's kind of interesting because it's so lonely at this stage in life after divorce, especially with older children, because you make all your friends when they're younger, or at least I did. I met my friends mostly through my kids' activities. I was a stay-at-home mom, and I took them to practices. I went to school, all that stuff. During my marriage, my weight went up and down. My looks fluctuated depending on health needs or what mental state I was in because of the abuse I was dealing with. And also just having children and being exhausted, literally doing everything. So as your children get older and as you go through changes in life like divorce or anything like that, your looks will tend to change. Mine have obviously changed a little bit. Actually, a lot. I have an autoimmune disease, so I did not have control over my weight for many years. And once they got my medications under control, and then I got out of my toxic environment, and honestly, I find refuge in the gym. I live in the gym. I have always been an athlete. I have always loved to work out. So this is not anything new. Nothing is going to change in like 6 months.
All right, first off, I just want to say I'm impressed by how she's able to continue her monologue without literally having to take a breath. It's pretty impressive.
Months when I'm healed, I will always be a gym rat. But it's interesting because I found that, with this new day and age, I've kind of gotten into TikToks and all that stuff, and social media. I'm a photographer. Like, that's part of my job. I'm a visual communications major back in the day. Everything I do is visual. And so this was like something I could grasp to, I could feel, I could see, touch, all that stuff. I've said a million times how I don't connect online, just through text and all that stuff. So it's interesting to me, some things, and I wanted to bring everybody's attention that I have recently come across and heard.
What is the point of this? Like, she's just been going on and on and on. I don't know what, like, is this coming to a point or something? Like,
A ton. I have had so many people message, comment. I've even had people in my personal life say, "You look expensive," or, "You're really pretty, so you probably, I don't understand why you would complain about that." Like pretty girls can't have problems, or pretty girls can't feel sad about anything. Lots of girls get this. The guy just wants to get that girl's attention. Someone they've seen on social media for whatever reason. She's a girl in their town they know. She has the looks that she wants. Whatever the reason is. But they really don't want anything with that girl. They just want the ego boost, the attention for that moment. And
she's saying that, she's so pretty or whatever, and people think she's so beautiful, and that these guys supposedly, she's basically acting like guys are getting validation from her just giving them attention, which is kind of funny because that's literally what women do, right? Women will literally love getting attention from guys, but then they don't want to actually take anything further. And for guys, usually when they show interest, they do want to take it further. So I think that she's kind of projecting in this scenario.
And all that stuff. And then they move on. And so I've had this happen several times. And I've said to my girlfriends in close confidence, and I'm like, "I don't understand. Like, I don't get it. What am I doing wrong?" And they're like, "You're not doing anything." They knew immediately that you were out of their league. They just wanted you to be the toy. They wanted to, get you and play with this shiny toy that they thought was so pretty, or they thought had all these attributes that they wanted, but they knew they couldn't keep you because they couldn't, you're out of their league.
She went out with a few guys. She went on some dates. Maybe she slept with those guys, but they didn't commit to her. And so in her mind, she's now thinking, "Oh, well, what did I do wrong?" She's talking to her girlfriends. What did I do wrong? And they're telling her, oh, they didn't commit to you because you are out of their league and they knew it. And the sad part about this is, in my opinion, this is a delusional take. It is a misconstrued take, because she is 47 years old. She is a mom of 3. She's single. She used to be married. She's divorced. For her age, yeah, she looks pretty good. I'm not going to lie. You know, she looks like she's in good shape or whatever. I can't really tell because it's just looking at her face. But for 47 years old, she looks pretty good. She's probably got a ton of makeup and maybe she's using filters or whatnot. I don't know. These guys are not going to commit to someone who's 47 years old, number one, because how are you supposed to now start another family with a woman who's already 47? That's not likely to happen, right? Let's be real. You are going to be coming into the situation as a stepdad, basically. I mean, maybe she doesn't have full custody of her kids. It sounds like they're kind of grown up, but you're going to be stepping into the situation as a stepdad, which a lot of guys don't like. For her to find a guy who she would actually like and who she would actually feel like she would accept, a guy of a higher caliber and of an older age, this guy would have to be fine with dating her, who is, divorced, single, 47 years old, and has 3 kids. Let's just put it this way. I think it's very unlikely that she is going to find a guy who she would want and respect that will also want to be in a committed relationship with her. And I think that's what's going on here, is she's talking about how all these guys she's been dating, blah, 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 but none of them are really committing. And in her mind, and in the mind of what her girlfriends are telling her, they're saying, oh, no, it's because you're out of their league. You're too good for them. And so they know that, and they're not committing. When in reality, what's going on is the guy's not committing to her because a guy doesn't want to typically commit to a woman who is like her.
This past year has been the hardest of my life, and this next season of the holiday season, I just triggered myself. It's gonna be really, really hard. I could be on the ground right now. I'm not gonna cry. Because I wanted to kill myself last year. I was in parental alienation through a separation in South Carolina separation law that my ex used everything he could to hurt me. And the holiday season was the epitome of hell because I was a stay-at-home mom and I was the magic of every holiday.
So she's complaining about the holiday season and it being so rough and blah, 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 and her separation and being a stay-at-home mom and her ex doing all these things to her. But, I'm not sure why she's on social media in the first place. She divorced this guy. Isn't that enough? Is she not happy with the decision she made? Why is she on here using social media as her sort of diary? I see a lot of women doing this, and it just makes me wonder, is this just for attention, or is this because they literally have no friends and they need someone to talk to and confide in, or is it a mixture of both?
I don't know. I'm in a different stage today. Honestly, I literally have been having a great week, amazing week, and then all of a sudden today, my emotions, I had the craziest thoughts, and I wonder, does anybody else feel this way? Like, I feel like I'm in mourning of the life I thought that I was going to have. And I'm kind of pissed at myself. I stayed in a marriage for 23 years and built up a family and my ex's career and everything. And we literally just got to where it was supposed to be everything we dreamed of. Like, owned a company, making, almost $1 million. And that was my breaking point. And I left it all. And I'm not a person that is about money. I've kind of been in mourning of the oh my gosh.
Classic. I'm not a person who's about money, but one of the main points she brings up is the fact that they were making $1 million in their business. Okay.
I gave it all up. Everything was around my family. So when I chose to leave, I gave it all up. All up. I had no clue that the worst was yet to come in the 1 year of separation. And so it's weird because I find that I just thought today for a split second, and I'm like, what the hell's wrong with you? What the fuck is wrong with you? I thought, I should have just stayed. It wasn't that bad.
Oh, here come the tears.
You made it 23 years. You made 26 years total. Your kids are college and one's almost out of high school. You made it. It didn't matter at this point. They can do their own separate life and all that. You made it to the point where you guys were making so much money and you had big houses and you could do whatever you want and you can relax. And I literally just called my friend and I was freaking out because I'm the biggest person that keeps me back. I'm terrified. I don't have 401k.
My counsel did not have my back. I was so traumatized when I got out, and then terrorized for the next year, that I couldn't even think straight to help.
So as you can see, she's just completely displaying victim mentality throughout all this. I was terrorized, no one had my back. It's all victim mentality and all blaming versus taking accountability for the fact that you initiated this divorce. And yeah, I guess now you're feeling the repercussions, but like, why is she trying to blame everyone else and act like she was a victim? Also, she hasn't really said any reason yet as to why this marriage ended. Is there a clear-cut, reason as to why you divorced your husband of 23 or 26 years or whatever? Is there a reason, or were you just like unhappy? We don't even understand what's going on here.
The people that wanted to help me and the people I entrusted to help me didn't help me. And there's just timelines that you can't stop. And so it is what it is. And I'm 47 years old. It's not like I'm 25. I'm healthy, kinda. I have an autoimmune disease, which means it's life-threatening for the rest of my life. Things can change. But it's not like I'm an invalid and can't do anything for myself. But it is terrifying. Like, I could have stayed. I'm so mad that I think this way. I could have stayed. My life would have been so much easier. I could have just gone and done whatever I wanted. Kinda. I mean, I say that, and then I think as I say that, I'm like, but you couldn't. It's like so weird that my brain thinks that way. And I called my girlfriend and I told her, I was like, I probably should have just stayed. I should have just stayed. It wasn't that bad. And she just started, she's like, Jenna, what are you talking about? Like, literally. And then I just keep thinking, I'm like, but I had a huge house and all my bills were paid for, and I know.
I just want to bring this up. This is literally the third time that she's brought up the fact that they had such a big house and made so much money and all her bills were paid for. So her saying she doesn't care about money is completely false. And I don't know why people do this in society. It's literally, you have to be like all humble and all this stuff. Oh, I don't care about money. But the reality of the situation is it's really nice to live a life where, you don't have to be concerned about bills and all these kinds of things. And anyone would like that. And she had a situation, it sounds like here, where she was a stay-at-home mom. All her bills were paid for. They lived in a nice house. They had kids, but it wasn't enough. And that's the thing. That's a big reason why, I make these videos, is to kind of try to make at least like my generation of men just aware, like, don't do what our dads did, man. Don't go through what our dads and grandparents went through, marrying these women in the United States like legally. It's not worth it anymore, because you can do all this. She's got a husband here who's supposedly they make $1 million a year, and it's still not enough. You can have a nice big house, nice kids, have a great business and all this stuff, and stay at home mom, and it's still not enough. It's never enough. So just don't put yourself in that position in the first place to be divorced. It's not worth it.
Never had to think how they were going to get paid. My grass was cut, well, not the last year of separation. But all the basic things to keep the image up. And I gave up my entire image that I was trained to have for my family for 23 years. Like, I was the stay-at-home mom, and I made the image of we were the perfect family. I have beautiful children. They were dressed right. They, did top sports like cheer and football and went to all that stuff. And I was, the cheer mom, and, did all that stuff, and then did photography on the side just to make money, to make ends meet while he built his career up. And
what?
I stayed long enough to just give it all up when it was like right there. And I'm so mad at myself because I'm not this way. I don't think this way. But it is hard to be a single female when you're 47, when your kids are out. It's not like I have little kids. I always say, if I had little kids, this would be not even a question, because that instinct comes in. I have to, my kids, I got little kids. I got to get them up for school. I got to get them to here. I got to get them to there. I got to go to work. I got to do that. I don't have that. I'm literally at home. The worst time of my day is after the gym at night, when the house is quiet and silent and I just am in my thoughts. And it's so hard. Like, I'm my own boss. If I don't go to work, if I get sick, nothing happens. And my Jenna photography would just crumble. And I love what I do. I have a passion for it. I love it. But I'm in my head. Like, I'm literally in my head. And I'm booking shoots and I'm doing amazing. I'm so excited. But every time I think future and long run, I freak out. Because my future was right there. Like, it was solidified. Like, I was comfortable for the rest of my life. Maybe not mentally in my relationship, but financially I was fine. And I gave it all up to be happy. Maybe I should have just stayed. It was like stable in every other area but that. Like, is my mental health really that important? And then my friends remind me, they're like, yes, like you're just in that crazy in-between stage. And I'm trying to work through it. I'm trying to work through the process.
So I just want to pause right there. Like, she's saying how, she gave it all up to be happy and to have, like, better mental health, which is understandable. But it seems to me that now she's in a situation where she's making these videos 24/7 about this situation. And she doesn't seem happy to me. She doesn't seem happy. She doesn't seem like her mental health has improved. If anything, she seems almost neurotic or psychotic. It's like she's constantly, like, her emotions are all over the place. It's like, well, if you gave all this up to be happier, then your plan isn't really working out, is it? If you gave it up for better mental health, then why are you obsessing over it? Why are you making these videos all over the internet and continuing to focus on the relationship that was supposedly so toxic in your toxic environment? If it was such a toxic environment, you shouldn't be making videos and trying to focus on it and spending so much time thinking about it when you literally have what you wanted. This is what she wanted, was to be divorced, right? She wanted to live this life of being happier and being able to go and do her career thing. And yet now that she's in her supposed position where she should be strong and independent, it's like she's still focused on the relationship and she's still focused on all these facts of the past.
But it's terrifying. It's terrifying to start over at 47. But it's hard to know you gave away. My ex will probably never make less than $1 million every year.
Bro, oh my God. She says she's not someone who thinks about money or cares about money yet. This is the 4th time, bro. This is literally the 4th or 5th time she's brought up how much money he makes. She doesn't, for someone who doesn't care about money, she keeps bringing it up and thinking about it a lot, doesn't she?
And I'm starting over. And basically as if I'm a 20-year-old again. And it just doesn't seem fair.
What? Dude, she's over here saying it doesn't seem fair. Dude, you chose this. You're the one who divorced him. You chose this. So she's saying it's not fair because she decided to divorce this guy and doesn't have the money that she thought that she would have. And he's making a lot of money right now and she's not. And she's saying it's not fair, even though she's the one that chose to put herself in this position. Unbelievable, the lack of accountability and responsibility that people take. It's like, wow.
We're getting ready to leave and she's like, well, I'll be home because I'm going to be at the Clemson Notre Dame game because Dad's going to take us all. You think that's nothing, right? Like nothing, right? And she instantly saw a switch in me and she's like, what's wrong? And I'm like, nothing, because I don't talk about that stuff. I don't want her to worry. She's like, Mom, what's wrong? I was like, nothing. And I had to keep it together. Because last week, she said randomly, I was like, what are we going to do for Thanksgiving? This is my year to have Thanksgiving with you guys. What do you guys want to do? You want to volunteer? Do you want me to just cook at home? Do you want to go out to eat? Like, I'm literally like begging for them to give me any feedback. Because last year, my ex used every single holiday, even if it was my holiday to be with my kids, to isolate me, manipulate them, to torment me, and everything he could with the South Carolina 1 year of separation law. And my lawyer did nothing to help me, and the laws did nothing to help me.
Dude,
and
the blame, the constant blaming. Oh my gosh. This lady takes no accountability, none. We have not heard one single time coming from her mouth something she did to affect the relationship in a negative way, something that she did that caused this divorce to happen.
My children were used as weapons. So last week she says, oh, well, Dad said for Christmas we're going to go to Gatlinburg and be there for the holidays and do Dollywood. That man never once ever went to Gatlinburg or Dollywood ever in his entire life before he met me. That was where my family always went. I'm from Tennessee. That's something we always did. It was a bonding thing. And now that's what he's trying to do. It's like he's taken every single tradition I've ever done and now turned it into his. Everything I've ever done. And the worst part and the thing that triggers me is that I'm screwed. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. There's no way to lie about it.
Dude, this lady is unhinged, bro. This lady is unhinged. So they're married for basically 26 years, and she's complaining because he's continuing on doing some of the traditions that they did when they were together with their kids. What? are you really that focused on him and his life? This whole move of you getting divorced was supposed to be so that you could get out of this quote unquote toxic environment and having to focus on all this. And yet she's so target focused on this. She's making content about this. Like, damn, just enjoy your life. Like, go live your life. You divorced the guy. Why are you so focused on him?
Like, I literally was screwed. Now I find myself triggered because during the hardest time of my year last year, of me literally trying to stay alive, me dealing with all the craziness of my ex, the lying, the alienation, him calling me a whore, him having my children call me a whore.
Okay, whoa. Here's a question for you. Why did he call you a whore? Most guys, most husbands, do not just come out of the woodworks calling their wife or girlfriend a whore. So what did you do that caused that reaction? And furthermore, why are your kids calling you a whore? Because kids don't normally do that either. So did you do something?
Why? Not because I did anything bad, because I wore spaghetti straps and all that. And the only way that he could use my children against me was to say I was on social media. And I'm not even helping myself because my brain is so stressed.
I am not buying that story one little bit, bro. Hell no. If he was calling her a whore, her children were calling her a whore. She's saying it's because she wore a tank top with spaghetti. Get the hell out of here. This lady is not telling us the full truth here. No.
So I'm just trying to, like, don't keep dwelling on it. I keep telling myself, don't dwell on it. Just survive right now. Just get through it. Just get through the holidays. But there's a timeline. And if I don't do stuff by February 8th, I can never fix the situation. But if I don't survive now, I'm literally going to be a complete mess mentally. So I'm trying, like, this is
going to be? She says she's going to be. She is a mess mentally. Her mental health dropped off a freaking cliff as soon as she got divorced.
Crazy medium. And I'm trying to be happy and show my kids that, like, life can move on, but the triggers, the random fucking triggers that have me sitting in a Quick Trip parking lot trying not to.
Well, her kids are going to see these videos. And what she's trying to show them, oh, you can move on, life's going to be happy again and all this stuff. They're going to see the opposite of that. She's basically showing them that it's impossible to move on because she's making these videos. They're going to see them. This is going viral. You're doing the opposite of what you say you want to do.
Cry. Why? Because my ex has so much money. He makes more than $18,000 a month easily.
Whoa. What? Whoa. Hold on. Let me go back.
Parking lot. Trying not to cry. Why? Because my ex has so much money. He makes more than $18,000 a month.
He makes more than $18,000 a month. First of all, okay. First thing is, this is the 5th time she's brought up how much money he makes. This woman is obsessed with money and material wealth, if you cannot tell already. That whole thing in the beginning of, oh, I don't care about money, that was just basically a cover, a screen of what her true feelings and emotions and thoughts are. She is obsessed with the money, and she's obsessed with how much money her husband or ex-husband makes. It's ridiculous. And the second thing is, now she's saying he makes more than $18,000 a month easily, but before she was saying they had $1 million business. So which is it? Is it $20K a month or is it $100K a month? Because that's a pretty big difference. Oh my gosh.
Easily, or at least he did. He made almost $1 million the year before we divorced and then lied about it. He has all the money at his fingertips to do whatever he wants, to buy my children, take them on trips, take them on vacations.
Okay, so
Why
what?
I literally had the bare minimum to pay my bills on top of trying to restart a career.
That's not his
because
problem.
It was a hobby because I was a stay-at-home mom. And just...
Dude, oh my gosh. This lady is unbelievable. She literally had her whole life paid for. Everything was paid for. She said in the beginning of this video, her bills were paid for, the mortgage was paid for. She didn't have to worry about anything. And now she's over here complaining and saying, it's not fair that I have to pay my own bills. You divorced the guy. It is fair. That's what you get. You get whatever you sow, right? You decided that this is the life you wanted, so accept it. This is unreal. This is unbelievable. And now she's blaming it on the fact that, oh, I was a stay-at-home mom and it was a hobby. Who chose to be a stay-at-home mom? Who chose to keep it as a hobby? You could go to work. 2/3 of Americans who have kids, both parents work because only rich people can afford a stay-at-home mom. So you could have been out there with all the rest of the Americans working and having 2 jobs, but you decided to be a stay-at-home mom. That was your choice. No one forced you into that. This is the United States of America. Nobody forced you into doing that. Again, there's no accountability for the choices here.
It's like he said, I wasn't part of the equation. I was not part of the equation in the entire marriage, this man told me. My role in life was to be the mother of his children and to do anything that was needed for the family while he built his career. I was not part of the equation.
Okay, first of all, his career supplied, the finances and basically all the necessities for the entire family. So this is not just his career. You were benefiting from this too. Don't act like you didn't benefit from this. Like you said, all of your bills were paid. Everything was being paid for you while you were a stay-at-home mom. Not to devalue stay-at-home moms at all. It's a lot of work. But to act like, you're such a victim over this is just ridiculous.
So how was that marriage ever supposed to survive? When I was fully 100% in trying to make a marriage, a life, a family, and this man never included me in the equation. And then when it was done and I got loose and I tried to survive, that man had been plotting for over a year on how to make my life hell because he had all the money, all the control. And now I sit here with the triggers. A fucking trigger because he's going to the Clemson Notre Dame game with my kids. I can't just randomly afford that. Hell, I can't even get them all in the same room at the same time. Man. So I sit here and I'm gonna get through this trigger. I'm gonna suck it up, buttercup, and I'm move on. But it's not fair. Like, it's not fair. I'm pissed. It's just not fair, and I don't understand how.
Now, what's interesting about this is, she says that, she doesn't have any money, blah, 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 or she can barely afford this or that. They were married for 23 years. So I saw someone in the comments mention she should technically get alimony, but this takes place in South Carolina. And I went and looked up the South Carolina laws because they mentioned in the comments that in South Carolina, if you cheat on your significant other within a marriage, you are not eligible for alimony anymore. So a spouse's adultery is generally an absolute bar to alimony. I'm not going to read that whole section. No alimony may be awarded to a spouse who commits adultery before the earliest of these two events. 1, the formal signing of a written property or marital settlement agreement, or 2, entry of a permanent order of separate maintenance and support, or of a permanent order approving a property or marital settlement between the two parties. So it is very possible that, in fact, what's going on here is she is responsible for the demise of this marriage, in the sense that she cheated on her husband. Because if she has no money and she's not getting any alimony, why would she not be getting any alimony in the state of South Carolina? She would not be getting any alimony in the state of South Carolina because one of the biggest reasons that happens is if you have adultery or cheating within the marriage. And so if she's responsible for that, then she wouldn't be getting any alimony. So someone pointed out in the comments, and I just wanted to bring that to your attention, that it's very likely that this person is in fact lying to our faces. Well, lying by omission to our faces. And in fact, she cheated or was not committed within the marriage and committed within the relationship, cheated on this guy, then divorced him, and is now blaming him, even though she's the one who did this. Now, I can't confirm that this is what happened, of course, but it makes you wonder if she's not getting alimony in the state of South Carolina. One of the biggest reasons for that would be because, she got barred from receiving alimony because of adultery. That's really one of the main reasons that you can't get alimony in South Carolina. So it just makes you wonder, it makes you wonder if that's the case. And it makes you wonder, is that why she's so obsessed with this still? Because she knows within herself that she's the one who actually caused this, and it's causing so much inner turmoil within her, So I just wanted to bring that to your attention, guys. Be careful out there. Just avoid legal marriage in the United States if you can. There's really no reason to in this day and age. It's a bad deal. It's a bad deal for guys. There's no reason to do it. You can still have a family. You can still have a committed relationship without having the contract and without having the ring. It doesn't really make a difference, to be honest with you. So that's my take on it. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments, and we'll see you in the next video. Peace out.